Hey guys, Brian Sullivan, founder of Precise Selling with your Thanksgiving version of your weekly motivational tip. Now, no doubt you're in full preparation mode for the big event. Now, that might mean that you're having some family and friends over the house, or maybe you're lucky enough to be heading to an annoying family member's home. Now, either way, it's important that we're prepared and we look at this day as a precise selling call. Now, like sales prospects, you can split family members up into little prospecting buckets, and those buckets are A, B's, and C's. Now, the A relatives, those are the ones that you're kind of looking forward to spending a little bit of time with. You know those ones. The ones you'll probably have one or two extra cocktails with. Then, of course, there's the B's. Now, the B's, you're okay with them. You can, take them or leave them. You prefer not to spend a whole hell of a lot of time with them. But then there's the C's. I kind of like the C's. See, you put them in that little C bucket. That often stands for controversy. Regardless of the bucket, it's important that we spread our time amongst all classes and all types. So how do we do this? Well, we can make sure that we have a fantastic day by using the precise Thanksgiving Day selling formula. So let's go ahead and break down how we're going to go into this day/sales call. The P of precise stands for be prepared. Now, one of the things the champion Thanksgiving Day folks do is they get into that Thanksgiving Day dining room 45 minutes to an hour before to scope out where they're going to sit. That's really, really important because having the perfect seat at the table, what happens if you get stuck with somebody who's maybe a little bit wacky, maybe one of those C's? You might have a bad meal. So you got to be prepared a little bit. Now, regardless of who you're with, you got to build some R. That's respect and trust. So go ahead and open up. Ask him a few questions. Be a good listener. Don't be a fake listener. But, of course, don't annoy him with too many questions because when you ask a question, let's be honest, you really don't care about their answer. You're just doing it because your spouse told you that you're supposed to talk to him. Be nice. But then we have the E. That stands for engage. Now, this is so important because you got to make sure you engage the richest family member. And dare I say, suck up to them. Now, who are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about the ones that maybe they're maybe a little elderly, but, they've got a lot of money in the bank. And because the ultimate objective is to maybe be a small part of their inheritance. And if you focus on them, be a really good listener, and you watch them, and you're nice to them, you're going to be grateful 5 to 10 years out. Of course, then we come to the C. This is absolutely crucial, and that stands for cocktails. Now, I'm often asked as an Irish guy whose dad owned an Irish pub, hey, Sully, what's the right level of booze? Now, I can't answer that question for you, but I will tell you there's a risk of going over the top, or, of course, there's a real risk of not having quite enough. Now, you know better than anyone the level that's best. But let's say 0 is you're totally sober / boring, and then 10, you're really over the top. Well, I like to be somewhere around a 7.8, so consider that. And also be sure you don't eat too much because that can lead to indigestion. And so in great preparation, think ahead, maybe bring some Prevacid, maybe some Tums. That too is being prepared for a great Thanksgiving sales call. And of course, don't be afraid to go back for second helpings. And the stuffing and, maybe the little oyster gravy, I don't know. But ultimately, before we leave that table, S. We got to secure agreement. But before you secure agreement and pick up your plate and off you go, here's what I want you to do. We got to make this call. We got to make that dining room table creative and fun. So I want you to do something totally inappropriate at the meal. Say something totally wacky. Now, usually when there's only about 10 or 15 minutes left, I want you to throw it out there. And of course, I want you to watch the faces of shock on the people around the table. And you might be saying, Sully, why am I going to do this? Well, because Thanksgiving meals can be flat-ass boring. And if you toss something out there that maybe freaks people out, maybe get a little political, watch that conversation. You know what it does? It brings the meal to life. And then it's absolutely vital that you know when to exit that table after you stirred the pot a little bit. You got to get in, you got to get out, especially after you threw that little something out there to freak people out. And now if the conversation starts going to maybe religion, politics, or Kyle Rittenhouse, you know you did a great job, but it's your clue to leave. So the 7 steps to making a fantastic Thanksgiving Day celebration, it's my gift to you. And I hope you take it to heart. And maybe today, a few days before Thanksgiving, you practice those 7 steps and you watch. 2022 will be the greatest Thanksgiving Day celebration you have ever had. And it's because you were precise. Hey, on behalf of the executive board, which is my wife and 3 children, of Precise Selling, I want to thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful time and some laughter with your friends and family. God bless. We'll see you after Thanksgiving.